paper deals with Agatha Christie's crime fictions, especially endless night, evil under the sun, and then there by now, through the lens of psychoanalytic criminology. The main hypothesis of this paper is to distinguish the categories of criminal behavior to demonstrate Freudian components of human psyche, which explicitly define criminal influence, and what kind of motivation an offender can have behind committing crimes, and how dopamine in the form of pleasure principle or feel-good hormone can pursue a human being towards crimes. The psychoanalytic perspective is both complex and extremely systematized. According to Sigmund Freud, an individual's behavior is presumed to be due to the three aspects of his or her personality. That is, as you know, id, ego, and superego. Id is a subconscious domain of the psyche, according to Freud, with which we all are born, is responsible for our innate desire and drives such as libido or sex drive, and it battles the moral conscience of the superego. Ego is the only conscious domain of the psyche. According to Freud, it functions to meditate the battle between id and superego. Superego is also designated as a conscience. This evolves during the course of an individual's development, during which he or she learns the restrictions, moral and values of society. Freud depicts that large portion of ego and superego can remain unconscious. Further, it takes a great deal of effort for individuals to recognize their unconscious. These unconscious can include disturbing memories, forbidden urges, and other experiences that have been repressed or pushed out from the conscious mind. An individual seeks some form of expression until these experiences are brought to their awareness. This attempt to uncover the unconscious motives of an individual can engage in criminal behavior. Now, moving on to Hans J. Eisen, who developed a theory that linked personality to criminality. He developed the Eisen personality, which emphasizes that human personality can be viewed in three dimensions: psychoticism, extroversion, and neuroticism. Psychoticism, there's two parts: high psychoticism and low psychoticism. The tendencies, or I would like to say, that is associated with high psychoticism are being aggressive, cold, egocentric, antisocial, and etc. And low psychoticism are characterized as being empathic, unselfish, more peaceful, and more pleasant. Extroversion traits associated with like sociable, lively, active, assertive, sensation-seeking, like this. And neuroticism is often linked to such traits as being anxious, depressed, tense, irrational, shy, and who used to have low self-esteem. Now moving on to Lawrence Kohlberg's moral development. According to Kohlberg, moral judgment evolves in children in three-level progression. Pre-conventional level of morality is characteristic of designating what is considered right or wrong. Conventional level of morality, which is the second, is considered the normal adult approach which used to maintain the family and social order, such as the principles of golden rules and appreciating social orders, etc. Post-conventional level of morality is the third and last, is when a person attempts to balance between the individual rights and the social rules. Now, to emphasize the concept, I would like to preach a philosophy of John Locke, who states the concept of tabula rasa, where he said, human mind is a blank slate or clean slate without any data rules at its birth time. But in the course of our upbringing, we fill with ideas, notions, and modes. If there is a lack of maturity in any of these developments, then the individual can be pursued towards criminal tendencies. And then we will talk about psychopaths. It refers to individuals whose antisocial behavior may be a result of a defect or abnormality within themselves, rather than in their rearing or socialization. In this classic book, Mask of Sanity, Harvard claimed that psychopaths are intelligent, self-centered, clean, superficially charming, harmfully shallow and manipulative. In terms of emotions, these individuals lack essential human characteristics such as empathy and remorse. Behaviorally, psychopaths engage in impossible behaviors, are prone to seek novelty and excitation, and often engage in moral transgression and antisocial acts. And then I will talk about dopamine. It's known as feel-good hormone. It gives one a sense of pleasure. It also gives one the motivation to do something when one gets the feeling of pleasure. It's a part of our reward system. When we do something pleasurable, our brain releases a large amount of dopamine. It seeks more and more pleasure feelings. So, thus, when an offender gets pleasure out of committing crime, the pleasure feelings motivated to do more crimes. In Civilization, Freud, 1930, writes, in most other cases and forms of neuroses, the sense of guilt remains completely unconscious. According to him, the self-damaging or self-torment behaviors are observable, and although at first patients may be unconscious of the role they themselves are playing in bringing such suffering on themselves. Since Freud assumes self-punishing behavior is driven by a manifestation of guilt, and since conscious guilt is absent, he postulates the existence of unconscious guilt, equating these with the unconscious need for punishment. Now I would like to relate this theory with the novels of Agatha Christie. At the very first, in Agatha Christie's novel Endless Night, narrator Mike, who was sexually influenced by a woman named Greta to kill his wife, he seems like a neurotic sort of psychopathic nature with lack of real moral development who enjoys killing. To fulfill their high ambition to become rich, Greta Nato decorated a big plan of killing a rich woman named Greta. Mike saying about Greta, I had known the moment I saw her that I belonged to her absolutely. He also said about Greta, she had the same kind of mind, the same kind of desire I had. We wanted the whole world, nothing else. The absolute interesting events from this novel are about the childhood criminal deeds of the narrator who wrote in his confessional letter. He once begged her friend be drowned in an icy water just for a rich person. He wrote, it seemed almost unconsciously, I think, that I unfastened the strap, grabbed the watch, and pushed his head under instead of trying to pull him out. Another incident while he and his friend Ed was back from a gambling place where Ed owned a lot of money filled with his pockets. A couple of times with sharp knives attacked them. Both got owned, but when Mike heard people coming, he killed his friend instead of saving him. He said, I was quick. My reflexes are pretty good. I grabbed her handkerchief from around my hand and I pulled out the knife from his own and I struck the knife again a couple of times in better places. He gave a grasp at us. After killing, he was feeling proud instead of being in guilt. He said, I felt proud of myself for thinking and acting free. But it shocked the reader most when he killed the woman he loved. He struck and get her. It may be because of the unconscious guilt or neurotic nature. He said, I have learned to enjoy killing people. It seems dopamine as a feeling good hormone, infinity. He said, yes, I was wonderfully happy when I killed Greta. Moving towards another novel, and then there were now. This novel deals with the characters who all are criminals to some extent. Each of them was at least a single mother in the past time, but we will keep our eyes, especially on Mr. Justin Rodgers, who considered himself an artist in crime, killed all the 9 characters himself at the last. The interesting fact here is that our offender is a man of innate sense of justice. He believed the innocent must not suffer, but he killed 9 other human beings who were obviously criminals in the past. Here, our offender can be considered a psychopath sadistic with the notions of guilt because of his strict moral notion that innocent master Sapa, he said, I have a definite sadistic delight in seeing or positive. From an early age I knew very strongly the last to eat. It has his criminal instincts. I will repeat. It has his criminal instincts. He said, I adopted the law as a profession. The legal profession satisfied nearly all my instincts. Crime and its punishment has always fascinated me. But he could not be pleased with causing death, but he wanted to taste the killing by himself. Yet he did not want to take any ordinary crime but a unique one. He said it must be a fantastic crime, something stupendous out of the common. In the last novel, Nivedita, I am only intended to deal with the psyche of the teenage daughter Linda of the mother woman named Alena, who was in unconscious guilt because she didn't kill her stepmother. I'm summarizing this. She was in unconscious guilt because she attempted to, or she just thought to kill her mother by a childish notion of witchcraft. Though she didn't kill her stepmother, but she felt the unconscious guilt in her and attempted to commit suicide, but her product fortunately rescued him from her. To conclude my paper, the aim of this study was not to dehumanize offenders considering him as a monster being, but to investigate deeper psychological condition of the offender. The Nivedita task was to demonstrate the idea of criminology in particular mentioned